Good morning, friends. Hi. Thank you for joining us. Today we are at Elmerville and we are visiting our new friend's home, Maureen and Dana, and they have graciously allowed us to come here and see the emus. They're right back there. Come here, boys. Come here. Come see us.
Hey, Doug is a spry young
They are
one.
so amazing, and we're so thankful that we were allowed to come over here and bring this to you. She's going to talk to us after story time and give us some information on these wonderful little birds.
Birds, sure.
Yeah. I'm going to read a book about Edward the Emu, written by Sheena Knowles, illustrated by Rod Clement. Edward the Emu was sick of the zoo. There was nowhere to go. There was nothing to do. And compared to the seals that lived right next door, well, being an emu was frankly a bore. So that night when the zookeeper went home to bed, Edward jumped up from his pen and he laughed as he said, "The seals are the best, ain't anybody can tell, so tomorrow I'll just be a seal as well." Let's see. The next morning at 9, when they opened the zoo, the seals were swimming, and Edward was too. He dived in the water and basked in the sun, and he balanced on a ball on his beak just for fun.
You're an audience.
Well, Edward was really enjoying the day, till he overheard someone behind the fence say, "The seals are always amusing, it's true, but the lion's the best thing to see in the zoo." Hi. So that night, when the zookeeper went home to bed, Edward jumped from the pool, and he smiled as he said, "The lion's the best, anybody can tell, so tomorrow I'll just be a lion as well." I wonder how that's going to go. What do you think? The next morning at 9, when they opened the zoo, the lions were roaring, and Edward was too. He snarled at the ladies and growled at the men. Life was certainly grand for a lion in his den. Look at him. He's trying to growl like the lions or roar. Well, Edward was having a wonderful day, till a man in the crowd had the gumption to say, "The lion's a beast I shall always detest. The snakes are the things that I like the best." He's hanging out that tree. So that night, when the zookeeper went home to bed, Edward crept from the cage, and he grinned as he said, "If the snakes are the best things, and that's what they say, then tomorrow I'll just be a snake for the day." Poor lion. Got those big old talons and almost in his eyes. The next morning at 9, when they opened the zoo, the snakes were all hissing, and Edward was too. He slipped around the rocks. It was magic to see. Then he curled himself up, casually up round a tree. Look at that. He's just like a snake. Snake looks like he's wondering, "What are you?" Well, Edward was just warming up for the day when he overheard one of the visitors say, "The snakes are impressive. I know that it's true. But the emus by far are the best thing at the zoo." "The emu?" gasped Edward. "My goodness, that's me. I'm the thing that the gentleman most likes to see. not the seals, the lions, the snakes, and the rest. It's Edward the Emu he likes the best. He's gonna get out of there. Let's see. So that night when the zookeeper went home to bed, Edward slipped from the cage and he laughed as he said, "If the emu's the best, then that's easy then. Tomorrow, I'm Edward the Emu again." Edward ran to the place where he used to reside, but oh, what a shock when he clambered inside. He found himself suddenly come face to face with the emu they'd brought in to take Edward's place. Uh-oh. The emus considered each other a while. Then the emu said with a shy little smile, "Hello, I'm Edwina. It's nice meeting you. You're the best thing I've seen since I came to the zoo." That's so beautiful, Edward. Now Miss Adela is going to step out real quick. Miss Joyce is going to come in and she's going to read on. If I can get up.
Hey everybody, so I have a continuation to Edwin, and this one is called Edwina the Emu. These are really cute stories. There once were two emus who lived in the zoo. One was Edwina, and Edward was two. They played every day, there was never a fight, and they cuddled up close to keep warm every night. As they sat there one day entwining their legs, Edwina announced she'd laid 10 little eggs. Actually, their eggs aren't that little. Look at that, they're kind of green. "Yeek!" shouted Edward. He seemed to be choking. 10 little emus? You've got to be joking." "I'm not," said Edwina, "but don't get depressed. I'll look for a job. You stay on the nest." An ad in the paper said, "Dance the ballet. If you've got the legs, we're willing to pay." "Great," said Edwina, "that would be fine. I'll hop on a bus and I'll be there at 9. The director called out for the next ballerina, and onto the stage stepped the lovely Edwina. She whirled and she waltzed and she twirled and she leapt. Then she twisted her legs in a grand pirouette. "Yeek!" the man shouted. He seemed to be choking. "An emu dance ballet? You've got to be joking." "I'm not," said Edwina, "but don't laugh at me. I'll find the right job. You just wait and see." An ad in the paper said chimney to sweep. "Stick your neck out. You can make a heap." "I will," said Edwina. "Now this will be fun. I'll hop on a bus and I'll be there by 1. Up on the roof, the wind whistled about. "I'm ready," the lady below shouted out. "I'll be just a minute," Edwina called back. Then she pushed till she popped through, bristled and black. "Yeek!" said the lady. She seemed to be choking. "An emu sweep chimneys? You've got to be joking." "I'm not," said Edwina, "but don't laugh at me. I'll find the right job. You just wait and see." An ad in the paper said waiter required. "If you're quick on your feet, you're sure to be hired." "Yes," said Edwina, "that's perfect for me. I'll hop on a bus and I'll be there by 3. Edwina served tea to a man in a hat. "Would you like me to bring you a meal with that?" "Yes," said the man. "I'll have sausages fried with a couple of nice runny eggs on the side." said Edwina. She seemed to be choking. You want eggs? You've got to be joking. I'm not, said the man. Eating eggs is the best. Once I ate 10 of them straight from the nest.
Eek!
Oh, Doug.
Edwina ran out. She ran into the street. It was true when she said she was quick on her feet. Taxi, she cried, take me home, make it fast. I know what the right job for me is at last. Look at that taxi driver. Yikes. It was late when Edwina got back to the nest. You're late, muttered Edward, and I need a rest. You're right, said Edwina. From now on we share. I'll sit on the nest. You pull up a chair. There once were 12 emus who lived at the zoo. One was Edwina, and Edward was 2. Then Fluffy and Scruffy and Sniffly Sneeze and Fatty and Footloose and Knobbly Knees and Lollipop Legs and Shortening and Squeak and the last little emu, they called that one Yeek!
Awesome!
Woohoo! So this has been really fun learning about emus here. We've got 3 babies, if you could imagine that, behind us, and then Mama and Papa are down the way. But anyway, they're very interesting. They make an interesting sound. So in just a minute, we're going to be having, is it Maureen?
Maureen, yeah.
Maureen's going to come, and she's going to answer some questions about emus. Things like, what do they eat? All right, we're back, and we have Maureen with us, and we're going to be asking her some questions about emus, because I'm curious. What do emus eat?
Emu eats pellets, just like chicken pellets,
Oh, okay.
and it's all nutritional, all the stuff that they need.
Uh-huh.
They would probably eat anything vegetable, but they're picky.
Okay.
They're
In the wild, would they eat insects, or no? Or mostly...
They probably would eat insects, possibly even small snakes
Oh, okay.
and mice.
So like a roadrunner might do, huh? Wow.
I know for sure that they would kill them.
Yeah.
Because I don't have wild ones, I don't know.
Hanging around here.
I don't know.
Okay, cool.
Now, I know you said that you have some chicken eggs right now from the adults. These are your babies right now, but you have some chicken eggs. Emu eggs. Hello. Emu eggs. What is the time frame on that for them to hatch?
To incubate, it takes 56 days.
Oh, wow.
And Dad does all the work.
Oh.
He'll sit just like the penguins do. He'll sit and he'll do all the work. He won't get up to eat. He won't get up to drink. By the
To me, huh, Mister?
Yeah.
by the 56th day, once those chicks start hatching, he's
Pretty worn out.
he's ragged.
Yeah.
He's pretty ragged looking, but he's quite a dedicated dad.
Oh, that's awesome.
It is. It really is.
So, they're big.
They are.
How much bigger will they get?
Maybe a foot bigger.
And the fence right now is 6 feet high, right?
Yeah, and they'll fill out, just like we all do. As they mature, they'll just, fill out, buff up. That's all.
It's just a big animal.
It sure is. They're quite interesting. There's not really much you could do with them, but they are interesting, fun.
Now, one of them was making a little,
Yeah.
and then he would let a growl out afterwards. Do you know what the difference between those
It's
two?
not really a growl. It's just the noises that
Little
they
hiss?
make.
It sounds like something deep in the chest.
You should hear the father make the noises. It sounds more like a drum.
Oh, wow.
And the female and the male makes different noises. One will make some different sounds, and the other one makes their own sounds. It's a male and female type thing.
Oh. So
Yeah.
they can carry their own little conversations with each other.
Exactly.
Nice.
You know how the Roadrunner makes that bottle sound?
Uh-huh.
They make that sound.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I should try recording that.
Yeah.
And sharing it.
Are they nocturnal, or do they sleep at night, or what?
They sleep at night. They're also up at night.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they're always alert.
Are you gonna
Okay.
get still?
They're always alert. And as far as weather, they're okay in the snow.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't freak out, like, what is this?
No, they walk around. They get, their backs get coated with it,
Right.
and it doesn't seem to bother them whatsoever.
Huh.
They're just amazing.
Something we haven't asked, but I think I know the answer is, where do they originally come from?
From Australia.
Australia.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can tell by the accent.
Good on you. Good on you, mate.
Yeah.
Is it? And that's the color that they have when they're grown. This is what they look like.
This is what they look like grown up. When they're chicks, they're striped.
Oh.
They're way different looking like
Yeah,
than
it's
what
kind of camouflage, isn't it?
Exactly it is. That's what it's for, because once they're born, they're basically on their own.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Kind of like, yeah.
Do they stay together as a family?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the little ones will stay together,
Yeah.
but really, mom and dad don't have much to do with them after they're up and about and they're striped like that.
Huh.
They just because they're in a pack, they're in a
Yeah.
herd or whatever,
Right.
a flock, and
There you go.
And they do that
At least
too.
you're in front of them.
and they do that too.
Lovely.
Thank God for that, right?
What would be like in Australia? What would be like a natural predator?
Oh, any kind of
Like
wild
a dingo?
dog.
Or,
Yeah, any kind of wild
Yeah.
dog.
Yeah.
Even when they're that small, you got birds of prey.
Right.
So anything, rattlesnakes.
How do they defend themselves? Like, is it the talons? I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
Their feet.
Okay.
Their feet are, yeah. Those 3 toes would tear you apart.
It's like, they're very graceful, and they're adorable, and I want to hug them, but I know I can't.
No.
So I get it.
Yeah.
Then you've had the mommy and the daddy for how long?
Approximately, almost the same time we got here. About 3 years I've had them.
Wow. Okay.
3 years. And we got them when they were 6 months old, and when they were 2 years old, then they started. They were mature already,
Laying eggs.
laying eggs already.
And mom and dad are how tall? Are they at
They're
7?
I know mom is neck stretched, 7 foot.
Wow.
Easy.
Can they jump over the fence? No. Okay. What a weird thing. Okay.
No, no. You kind of worry about it at first.
Right.
I know I did when the mom and dad, when we first had them, Dana wanted to make sure of the fence because we didn't know. We had no experience at all. And they can't jump.
Okay. And I know they have little small wings in the front.
Yep, they do. They're useless.
It's just for show.
They're just like, the T-Rex,
Right.
they just hang out there. I don't know why God did that. I really don't.
You don't have to worry about them flying away?
No,
Okay.
flying away. And they're not rideable.
Right.
I saw them running around and getting giddy,
They do that.
zooming.
Yeah.
Now I see a little ball in there. Do they play with that little ball? They hit it around and things like that?
Not really.
No, it's just for show.
Dana, my husband, threw in there thinking that they would play with it, but they're not like dogs.
Oh, okay. I was like,
No, they have absolutely no interest in that ball.
okay.
But just them moving around, that's their exercise.
Absolutely.
They figured-
They goof off. You saw them doing the zoomies and stuff, and like I said,
Trying to flip.
and they'll hit their bottom chin on the ground, and then they jump up and they turn, and they're clowns. They're really clowns, and they just seem to enjoy life.
And then if it rains, they're okay because they have shelter. So
They have shelters. They're going to get a way better shelter than this. This is just temporary.
and then so I was asking earlier. So this is their pen for now because
now.
they're not by mom and daddy because they're just because, or what's the just?
That would cause conflict as far as their mom and dad. I think would I don't know. There's not enough space in there.
Okay.
They need more space.
Right.
And unfortunately I don't have that, so we need to make it safe for everybody.
Right.
It wouldn't be safe at all.
Yeah. Would they try to get the eggs that are in there on the eggs if that was the case?
A good possibility, because that's what birds do. I know my parakeets was doing that, so it's a good possibility. I've never experienced it, but now that you mention it, that would be one of a safety issue, but just for their own safety as far as the adult males,
Right.
and the females. There could be fights going on. I mean, when they're out in the wild, they have way more space than what they do here.
Right.
So there's no issues. If they want to go run off by themselves, that's fine.
They seem very affectionate, like they need to be always close contact with each other.
Yeah.
Like
These guys have been together forever.
it's very adorable.
I know. That's what Dana always says. Why don't we just put him on Craigslist? And I always tell him, go ahead. And he hasn't yet.
Yeah.
And he won't.
So, like, can you buy just normal, like, bird chicken feed? Like,
It's emu food. It's a pellet. And it's just emu.
Okay.
It's emu food.
You have to order online, or is it?
Specifically. No, actually, Tractor Supply carries it.
Really? Yeah. Well, there you go. I guess it's a common thing in the area. Okay.
Yeah.
Already then.
Yeah, we were kind of surprised too, but they carry. I loved your reaction. Yeah.
Working has been very interesting. That the people we get to meet and learn, and I'm like, that's a giant bird looking right behind you there. Okay then.
Yeah.
That's so cool. It's just like it's like.
You know what? They got out one time. It was the funniest thing. I have to tell you this story. They got out of their cage one time, and they can't get out this backyard.
Right.
And the dogs are out there by the gate, where they're, like you see them now. And I stuck my head out the door, and there's the emus. They're looking for me. All three of his heads. And I said something. I called Dana, I believe it was. They were just looking for me, because they.
Yeah.
And they all just looked, and they stood there waiting for me. And it was like, I'm their mommy.
Yeah. Yeah. So earlier when you were over there, they kept kind of congregating over here. I finally thought, oh, they're looking for Maureen.
Yep. I mean, I tend to all these critters, and they all look up to me. And this is like, oh.
It's like the story of that little bird that goes around, are you my mommy?
Right? Yeah. So we never, like I said, we weren't too hands-on when they were small, because life just goes on, and sometimes you just don't have the time. So, how are we going to get these guys back in their cage? Dana said, well, just go walk in there. I walked in there, and they followed me in there. Yep. So it was like, phew. I'm glad that was easy, because I was sweating, because I wouldn't want to try to touch these guys, not that way, because they're gonna think they don't have common sense, and they're gonna defend themselves.
Right.
Nature rules nature.
Right? So it was like, I was very happy that they just did that.
Yeah. It's like my horse got out one time, and you can't chase a horse down.
Oh God, no.
I just went and got a bucket of Equine Senior and
Yep.
wiggled, shook it. Oh,
Yeah.
here he comes running
I
back.
just did that last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And their feathers, it's just like. It's
Their feathers are amazing, and I will get you some, and I'll show you. They actually, when they grow out as one, but then two comes out of it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
They kind of fan out?
Yeah, it comes out, like you have, how it attaches in them, and it's just one, but then every feather has two.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll show you them.
Cool.
That's probably why it looks so weighted on their little body.
But it's not because they don't fly.
Oh no, they don't.
Because an ostrich has a really big wing.
Yeah,
They got little chicken.
I know, right?
That's-
Yeah.
I mean,
Did you know ostriches they weigh approximately 500 pounds?
Wow.
Well, it's good living. I mean, they're big.
Yeah.
So weight-wise, how full-grown emus coming in at? Like,
Um,
could I wrestle an emu? Is basically what I want to know.
no, absolutely
Okay,
not.
so
No way.
don't.
You wouldn't
gotcha.
win, Jan.
Gotcha.
No.
But how much do they come in at, when they're like tip top?
I don't really know. I failed to look up that.
We'll have to look up at the
There-
library. How much does an emu weigh?
Yep.
And all these wonderful books we have at the library, friends and family. So definitely if you want to read Edward or Edwina the Emu, come by the Cottonwood Public Library. Open 9 to 6, Monday through Friday, 9 to 2 on Saturday. So, Maureen, thank you so much for having us.
You're
This
welcome.
was awesome.
Yes, thank
you,
you.
my neighbor. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And,
Thank you for coming.
Thank you again. Thanks for tuning in for Storytime and our little Q&A afterwards. If anybody has any other large animals you would like us to interview and do stories with, please let us know at the Cottonwood Library. Mr. Jan wants to hug all the animals in the forest. Okay.
Here we go.
All right. Thanks, guys. You have a wonderful day. Bye,
Thank you
everybody.
for coming.
Bye, everybody.